Guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be discovering sales, the process of it, building relationships, closing, negotiating, handling objections, and more. How I've made $2 million plus in my career using these same strategies. So let's get right into it. Number one, you can't sell to nobody. You need to build relationships. So that would be first and foremost. But before we even go into the process of building the relationship, finding the client, finding the problem, providing the solution, and closing the deal in that order, I need the mindset to be there. So number one, you guys need to understand that this is a numbers game. Not everyone's going to say yes. I don't care how good you are. Obviously, the better you are, the more deals you can close with less phone calls or less meetings. In the beginning, you need to find your common ground and your foundation. So what do I say? My foundation would be to you when I do this with my coaching clients is, all right, you're going to start cold calling. We want to make $5 million in sales this year. You want to make 150 grand GCI. Yeah, I do, Nucci. Okay, great. So if this is your first year, you've never closed a deal in your life, I need to understand what your skill level is. So we need to build that base. So bro, go cold call 2 hours a day, every day, 5 to 6 days a week for a month. Your numbers are going to be a little all over the place, but you're going to come back to me and go, okay, I set 4 meetings, 2 of them canceled. I went on 2 and I got 1. I would say, okay, that's not enough. I need at least 10. Go do that another month. So I say it takes about 30 to 60 days to get this first process going. So once you go get that 10 mark, you get 10 meetings set, you're going to have about 30% of them cancel. Out of the 7 that you go on, 3 or 4 of them are going to go with somebody else because they did it for less commission, they raised the price and bought the listing. Yeah, it's worth $1 million, but it's really worth 800 and you told them 850 and the other guy told them $1 million. So at the end of the day, you're converting 20 to 30%. Now we even go backwards and we'll reverse engineer that even further. So how many phone calls did it take? How many people answered the phone calls? Rule of thumb is when we're talking about contacts, dude, like if I cold call 100 people today, and 3 answer, and I didn't get past hello on one of the calls, I had 2 contacts. That's 2 contacts. So you need to talk to 20 people, 25 people a day, get past hello, my name is blank blank, I'm with Douglas Elliman, I'm with EXP, I'm with Keller Williams, whatever brokerage you're with. And if they hear you past that, that's a contact. If you call them like, hey John, this is Anthony, this isn't John. John, I'm so sorry, you have no affiliation to 123 Main Street? No, not at all. Okay, John, last question. I know I called you out of the blue here. Do you have any property in the area that you might be looking to sell or get appraised? No, I don't. Okay, but I'm counting that as a contact. I spoke to a human being. He might or might not have owned a piece of real estate there, but if I'm like, John, no, I'm calling in Florida, and this guy's like, no, dude, I'm in New Jersey. I don't own anything in Florida. I never have. I never will. Bye. Okay, I'm not counting that. Like, there's no real at-bat. Okay, so now this is step 1. If you're new to sales, dude, you got to go for numbers. You got to go for cold calls. You got to go for like immediate business. So if you're a real estate agent, the easiest way to get the low-hanging fruit is expired listings, canceled listings, for sale by owner. And then the second part, or the second phase to that, I would say, that takes a little bit longer to nurture would be circle prospecting. My circle prospecting script would be like, hey, John, this is Anthony with Douglas Elliman. Real quick, I'm calling about your property that you own in Bell Harbor. Yeah, no, we're not interested in selling. No, I knew that before I called you. Real quick, I just wanted to see if you had any thoughts or plans on selling in the future if you got the right number. Well, what's the right number? I don't know. Let me tell you. Give me 30 seconds. I can tell you real quick. The average price per square foot in the area is $1,200 a foot. I'm seeing the pictures as you bought it 15 years ago. I don't want to assume, have you done any renovating to the property? Yeah, I did the tile, I did the bathroom, I did this, I did. Okay, now, I'm just like a doctor wouldn't diagnose a patient over the phone, I'm not going to give you a concrete number over the phone, John, but what I can do is this. I can tell you ballpark, you're anywhere from $1,250 to $1,400 a square foot, could be $4 million to $6 million. I live literally 5 minutes from you. I'm more than happy to stop by and give you a fair, concrete assessment. And I know you're not selling, but if you do want to sell in the future, you at least have a friend in the business. Are you free tomorrow at 2 or 3? That's circle prospecting. The expired is like 7:45 in the morning. John, this is Anthony with Douglas Elliman. Real quick, I have 2 questions for you. Do you have 30 seconds? No, great, I'll be quicker than that. Second question, is the property available or did it sell? Or, yeah, I got 30 seconds. Great, that was my first question. Second question is, did the property sell? No, it didn't. What are your plans on getting it back on the market? I don't know, I might do it with the same agent. We'll go over all that, the objection handles and all that stuff later on, but that's basically the process of getting business and how you're going to go about it. Now, I would recommend using a script in the beginning so you at least get the framework because you guys don't know what the process looks like yet. You don't know what you're going to hear. You don't know what objections you're going to get. And I don't want you to just run blah, 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 blah. Like you need to get the framework down, right? Like I like to give I want to know what's going on. So I need information, right? I need to know what's going on in the process of this person's sale or lack of. So it didn't sell. What were your original plans when you did sell? Because I need motivation. What was the feedback from the other agent? Did they give you any at all? What do you think stopped the property from selling or prevented it from selling? And then all the other objections are, I got to talk to my wife. Now it's not a good time. The market's bad. The other agent's going to do it. I have a friend in the business that I'm going to give it to. I'm going to list it with the same agent. And there's a response for, I'm too busy. Those are the easiest objections to overcome. I can give you a list of them later on. Okay, so number one, you're building the relationship with these people. You need to understand that every person in this world that you talk to, you're trying to sell every single day. Sales is everywhere, every day with everybody. You're trying to sell that girl to go on a date with you. You're trying to sell that client to list with you. You're trying to sell your mom or your girlfriend or your sister to pick up the TV remote and hand it to you or make you a sandwich. It's all sales. When you go to a club and you're trying to get the bouncer to let you in, when you're trying to sneak into a better seat when you're at a concert or a hockey game or whatever, it's all sales. Okay? But you have to understand, selling isn't telling, it's asking questions. I can't sell you on a product that you don't need. And I'm not going to. I don't need to. There's 8 billion people in the world, dude. Sell me this pen. I'm not selling you a pen if you don't need a pen. Like, I know there's people out there that still try and sell the pen. I'm not selling you a pen if you don't need it. So it's very simple, dude. But if I were to sell a pen, I would say, what kind of pen do you use? What's the perfect pen for you? What color ink? How thick is the grip? Do you like a skinny pen? Do you like a thicker pen? Do you like a ballpoint? Do you like a skinny point? I don't know pens like that, but if I was selling pens, I would know everything about them. Or like water. What kind of water do you drink? What kind of car do you have? Because when you're commuting, some cup holders, like my Porsche, I can't put most of my water bottles don't fit in there. So it's like, okay, do you like room temperature? Do you like cold? If I could get you all this and save all of your problems and deliver it today in bulk and save you 15% from buying in bulk, would you buy right now? And yes, of course, great. Yeah. So going into the second phase of this, which is understanding the people and what they want and need. So number one, we covered, which is building relationships, right? Building rapport, asking open-ended questions, understanding the person's wants and needs is number two. So when you're talking to somebody, and you're asking them questions, you're gathering intel. The more intel you get, the easier it is to sell somebody because they're literally telling you everything that you need to hear to be able to help them. It's kind of a help me, help you. If you were to sell, what would that look like? If you got the number you were looking for, I'm not interested. Would you be interested if you can get the $2 million? Yeah, I would be. Do you have a buyer? If I had a buyer, we'd be having a totally different conversation. My goal is not to bring you one, it's to bring you multiple to increase the chances of selling quicker and for more money. That is what you want at the end of the day, correct? Okay, great. Let's meet at night at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock for 15 minutes. I'll show you exactly what I do to sell properties just like yours. Like, that's the script, right? We go right into it, boom, boom, boom. But you guys aren't going to be able to get to that level until you do this a million fucking times. That's another thing. This is like anything in the world, dude. You're not going to be good at it by watching. You're not going to be good at it by studying alone. Like studying and watching, yes, are necessary, but you need to do it. I can watch somebody bench press all day long. If I don't bench press, I'm not going to increase my bench. I can know every step on how to improve form, functionality, strength, muscle, everything I could do perfectly in my mind. Know it perfectly. But if I don't do it, I can't grow. I might have bad form. I might hurt myself. I can't grow the muscle if I don't start from the bottom. Right? You don't go to the gym and just do 225 your first day. You got to do 135. You work your way up. So you need to understand what your client's wants and needs are, gather intel, ask questions, and then use that to sell them on the product or service that they need. Okay? Little side note, if you guys want to be very successful in sales, not only do you need to be an expert in whatever you're selling, you need to love the company or product that you're selling as well. Like, you could be the greatest real estate agent in the world, but if you hate your split and you hate your company and you hate your broker, it's going to prevent you from wanting to work, because in the back of your head, you're like, dude, I don't really like this dude. I don't want to believe in this guy. I don't really like my broker. Like, they don't answer my phone calls. Like, they rob me and take too much money from me. So be mindful of that when you're doing this, and pick the right broker. Believe in every process. Believe in everything around the brand, right? Because that's what you're selling at the end of the day. You're selling Keller Williams and you. So understanding the client, providing the solution, believing in every part of the cycle, believing in you, believing in your brand, believing in the company or with the product, the service, and everything is going to help you close the deal. Now, the fourth but not final part out of the 5 steps is simply overcoming the objection. I'm too busy to meet with everybody. That's every reason why we need to meet, because you don't have the time or energy to be dealing with these phone calls and dealing with a bunch of unqualified agents who have no business calling you. Number one. Number two, I need to talk to my wife. I totally understand. Let's do this. Let's tentatively book a meeting tonight for 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I'm going to send you over my credentials. If you and your wife think it's a bad idea to meet with a qualified agent with a proven track record who's lasted almost a decade in the business, please by all means call me and we'll cancel the meeting. John, let me ask you, what if your wife says no and you know this is the right thing to do for you and your family financially? You need to get all of these objection handles down, down, down. If you don't like what I have to say, I'll see myself out in 10 minutes. John, if you are not 100% certain within the first 5 minutes of me walking in your house, which I guarantee you will be, I will see myself out. Fair enough? I need 5 minutes of your time. It's 5 minutes worth discussing how we can put $1 million in your pocket. Once you get the objection handles down, dude, you're off to the races. You're done. It's a game over. Now, once you overcome that, this is the last part. This is where everybody gets stumped. You guys can be good at objections, but when it comes to closing, this is where you need to pay attention. Okay, so you're at the table with the people, with your prospect, with the client, and they go, I got to think about it. I don't know, blah, 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 whatever these objections are, but you overcame the other ones, right? Now it's like getting them to sign the deal. Okay, I understand you guys want to think about it. It's a big decision. And if I'm like you, or if you're like me, you want to get every piece of information that you can regarding the deal so you know exactly what you're buying. What did you like most about the presentation? You like that? Listen, what did you like most about the presentation? Well, I really like that you guys get 1 million views a month on your social media. I really like that you guys are aggressive and young. And I really like this. Okay, awesome. So what is the one thing you want me to go over again so you have all the information in front of you? I don't know, we just want to think about it. Thoughts instantaneous. You guys know, I have a feeling you know whether you want to go with us or not. So I've been in the business long enough. Do I have permission to be honest with you guys? That's literally what I say. Do I have permission to be honest with you? Yes. Okay. When I have a client tell me that they want to think about it, there's one or two things. One, they don't like what we have to say, which we just, debunked that. You said you guys love what we do and how we do it and our track record. Or the second thing being, you found somebody else or somebody else called you and reached out to you and said that they could sell the property for more money and for less commission. Is that the case? And it's okay if that's the case. I asked if I could be honest with you, you can be honest with me, it's fine. And when they say, yeah, that's actually it, I'm going to say, okay, so let's get into this. My job is to sell a home for the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time possible to help you achieve your goals, make you the most amount of money and get you to the next place in the next chapter of your life. What I've seen in the past is if people prioritize commission, which, by the way, what's most important to you, what I make or what you take home? Well, you take home, of course, obviously. So if you knew that I was the right agent, I have the track record, I have the plan, we could get the property sold within 3 months, close in 4 months, get you onto the next chapter of your life, and you don't have to sit on the market for 6 months and have to do this process or this cycle all over again. Because what I'm simply trying to do, John and Rebecca, is prevent future disappointment. If a discounting broker, by the way, who can't even protect their own commission, their own livelihood, I don't know if they're going to be able to fight for you. I don't know if they're going to make this a priority. I don't know if you want somebody that's desperate like that, that's willing to just cut their commission and just their own livelihood. They're not going to be able to negotiate and fight for you on your $1 million asset. Wouldn't you agree? I would love to earn your business, but I don't need it. Every one of my clients is happy. I sell 95% of the properties that I list. Occasionally we have those people that don't want to listen to our advice and we don't sell it and the contract expires. But when we take a listing, we're sure it's going to sell. So if we're talking about $1,000 or $3,000, it's like you get what you pay for, right? We can go to Ruth Chris or we can go to McDonald's. I know when we're talking about $1 million house, we're talking about Ruth Chris, so that is what we're here. This is what we're here to do. It's white glove, red carpet service. So I'm asking you guys, here's what I don't want to happen with the think about it. There's 3 things that are going to happen. One, you're going to have to sit your head on your pillow at night and still wander and think about who you're going to hire. 2, we're wasting valuable time in between. 3, we can't sell a property that's not on the market. Let me get started on this for you today, tonight. I will have my photographer notified within a second of me leaving. I'll have a photographer here tomorrow. I'll have a videographer here to follow. I'll have the photos and the videos back within 24 hours of that. I'll have it in the MLS, the remarks done. I'll have it on the market. Today is Saturday. I'll have it on the market by Monday late afternoon. Fair enough? Let's do this. Let me take control of this. I promise you if you guys aren't happy in the next 2 weeks, I'll fire myself. Deal? And then you push paper over and close the deal. We go over all of this and more, from building relationships, cold calling, handling objections, what your process should look like, scripts, accountability. We role play, we practice the listing presentation, we practice cold calling, circle prospecting, we practice follow-up scripts. We have a huge community. We have 600 agents that we've cultivated in the last 2 years. We've done over $1 billion in deals. I have a 19-year-old kid who literally sold $1 million his first year in real estate, and then he sold a little over 4.5 the next year. He coached with me for a little over 3 months. He was listing about 3 properties a month. They were like 150, 200 grand, but still, like that's very impressive to be able to list that kind of volume at that age. I also have a guy that went from 2 million to 8 million. I have a couple of people that literally were already making $500,000. They came in, they grew their business 20, 40% in the first year because they don't cold call, but they're like 30, 40 years old. We have it down packed. All of my agents are primarily listing agents. They're not chasing buyers around. But if you do have to have the buyer, if you are primarily a buyer's agent, you want to transition, we'll help you with the listing presentation with your buyer. I call it it's a listing presentation now. You're sitting down to try and get the buyer to agree to pay you. So we have a buyer presentation, over 50 different bullet points as to why they should hire you, covers all the things you're going to do for them in the process. We'll give you that and more if you guys are interested. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's completely free to get on a consultation call with my team. And if you and I think it's a good fit to work together, we will move forward. If not, we'll give you some pointers as to what you can do to improve, because we have 4,000 applications come in every 5-6 months, and we only approve 500 of them. So less than 20% of the people make it in. But if you guys are truly committed and you'll do everything that you say and that I say, you'll listen, you'll take direction, you'll take criticism, you'll take accountability. It's only tough love for a reason. That's what works. Then yes. But we don't want people that are like weekend warriors, that don't work on the weekends, that don't listen, that can't take criticism, that don't want to work, that make excuses. It's just not what I do. I keep my community very boutique for a reason. And that's why we've been so successful. That's why I've been so successful. So I'll leave it in the description below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a phenomenal day, and I will see you on the next one.